Channel. Today's look is for St. Patrick's Day because it's coming up in this weekend. This is the look that I created. I have a prosthetic on my eye that I created today. Like, I created the same day that I actually did it, so it's not like a 2-day thing, it's only a 1-day thing. So it was pretty quick, and then I painted my whole chest to be this leprechaun that is following up the rainbow to this pot of gold that is somehow got shoved into my eye and made me all bloody. And I actually have a look right here that is a little dramatic, as you can see, but you can wear just this eye look on St. Patrick's Day and these lips if you are really bold. If you enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe down there. Also, what I don't mention a lot is to turn on my notification bell. You'll be able to get a notification for when I upload. So if you would like to know how I did all of this, then keep on watching.
Okay, already starting off on a weird note, I had to crop the normal size because I was in the picture and I wasn't wearing too much of a shirt. So sorry for the border, but it's only going to be for when I'm molding the prosthetic. So putting down a flat piece of cotton and blending that down with latex, just to create a base for easier molding. Then averagely guessing where I think my hairline would be. Kind of just plopping down this piece of cotton right in the middle. By the way, not too sure who Erica N is. I got these styrofoam heads from someone that I worked with in the past, so I really couldn't tell you. So basically tried to mold this into like a half circle. The bottom half I really blended down, and the top half I tried to keep open like, well, a pot of gold. Here is my pot part, still very bumpy. Now just taking some really baby pieces of cotton and rolling it into a ball and putting it on each side diagonally of the cauldron or pot just to create some legs for it. And this was the other side. This is kind of hard to see, but I'm putting on the handle to the pot. Just kind of rolled up the cotton like a hot dog or a snake. And then use latex to attach it on both sides. Okay, and there is my pot of gold. I'm definitely going to let it dry and then paint it later. It looks a little crazy right now, but once it dries and get it all cool, I'm going to cut off a lot of this so nothing goes in my hairline and all that. Okay, so in the beginning, I'm going to start contouring with green. Thank you. I'm going to do it almost the same way that I did when I followed the Made You Look makeup tutorial for contouring, but maybe a little bit different when I deepen the contours. So I'm first going to go in with that lime green that I went in with. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to color the majority of my face white. Okay, so taking some cream paint and just paling out my entire face. I did this because I really like the contour of a really pale face, and then going in with your contour shade, it just ends up making it look more chiseled and nice. Then I just powdered the cream paint with some translucent powder from Mehron. Now I'm taking that lime green and I'm starting to contour all of my contour areas in the hollows of my cheeks, also on my forehead, and I will get into the nose in a second. After that, I grabbed the forest green from the Morphe 35B palette, and I really deepened up the contours in my cheekbones and on the forehead. I also grabbed a really olive green color from the Morphe 39A palette and really deepened up the contours the most. So I'm contouring my nose a little bit different than I usually do. I started from the bottom and I went up only basically on the tip, but I did it in the same color scheme as I did the lime green, then the forest green, and then the olive green. The deepest colors go on the tip. I also contour near the inner tear duct because it really snatches the nose. Moving on to eyes, I'm taking the lime green color and dusting that in my crease, and then taking the forest green color and just focusing on the outer V part. Blending with a clean brush, dusting it under my lash line, and deepening the outer V with the olive green. Now just cutting out a half cut crease with a white liquid liner, just to make my eyes look very wide and almost doll-like. When I finished the eye look, I popped on a pair of lashes and a bold black liner and started contouring near my eyebrows to give some angry eyebrow effect, and highlighted with the green highlighter from the Aurora palette. I took the lime green and I contoured kind of near the outside of my lips and my cupid's bow to make a more fuller lip effect. Now I'm grabbing my lime green paint from Mehron and drawing the hill that the leprechaun will be standing on and just fill the whole thing in. I'm also following the hill onto the sides of my arms. Now going into shading, I'm grabbing the forest green from the 35B palette and making kind of like a second hill on top of it just to give it some realism. Now I'm highlighting underneath the shadow to make the hill look like it is in front of the other one. taking the forest green and shading on top of the hill that is farthest away. And then highlighting right next to the shadow, because wherever there is a shadow, there is a highlight. After that, take some white and green paint and just make some dots on the hill to create some texture. And now I'm starting to work on the leprechaun. I had a reference picture of a cute little cartoon leprechaun that I found on Google. It was really easy to just go off of that, but you can draw any cute little leprechaun that you would like. I made him a little chubby, but who doesn't like their characters a little chubby? It's easier for you to just watch rather than me to explain, because just watching does all the explanation.
I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Not today, yeah. Oh yeah.
'Cause white will turn out gray if you use a brush that already has black on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't put in how I drew the face because I ended up changing that at the end because I didn't like how I did it at first. So we'll go back to that after. I outlined most of his body in black, and after I finished doing that, it made him really pop, and I filled in his booties with some white on the ankle and filled in the whole boot black. And then, of course, you can't forget the little gold on top of his boot. Now moving on to the rainbow, I started off with red, going with some yellow, and after I painted each color, I blended them together while they were still wet. Now going in with some blue. It is very light blue. I did it for the sky. As you can see, I have some orange on my shoulder. My mom's helping me wipe that off because I tried doing green, white, and orange for St. Patrick's Day for the sky, but it did not work out. So color the rest of your chest blue. Now doing my favorite part of the entire painting is the clouds. I feel like this is what really brought it together. Drawing some crazy white squiggly lines. Taking a really deep blue eyeshadow and shading right on top of the white line to give the clouds a lot of dimension. Going in with some black eyeshadow to really deepen up some of the deepest shadows. That will really give it dimension as long as you just use it very sparsely. Finally, to finish off the painting, I drew a big yellow circle. I painted some white right at the base to make it the brightest there. And to make the rays that are flaring out, I took mostly orange and a little bit of yellow. Yep, it totally was focused on my face while I was drawing the leprechaun face. Okay. I made him look much more happier and cuter doing this face, and this was my final leprechaun face. And this is totally optional, but I took some crepe hair and I glued it onto the leprechaun's hair just to give some realism. Taking this. I'm actually going to take off this prosthetic and then I'll be right back. Now we should probably paint it. So I'm going to put this down. You're probably going to see the floor, but it's okay. Boy, I put it right in front of the trash can. Why would I do that? So I started off painting the prosthetic by coloring the actual pot black. I had to do a few layers because it wasn't super opaque. And then I put a white line almost at the top of the pot just to make like a highlight. I then painted the handle black. It was a little harder to paint because it didn't cover that in latex, but just try to get that as opaque as possible. And then you can't really see this part, but then I filled the pot with liquid paint that was in the color gold, obviously, because it was gold inside the pot. Now onto the prosthetic. I'm putting a circle of latex around my eye, not actually on the prosthetic, so I don't get anything in my eyebrows. And once I get that pretty secure, I cover all of my edges with latex with a few layers. While that was drying, I took a NYX black liquid liner and I actually lined my lips with that.
Oh, poor baby.
I then filled in the lips with a very dark green paint, and then I kind of ombre the black and the green together, but once I blended it all together, I was like, the lips are a little too dark for me, so I took some lime green paint and put that right in the middle of my lips and blended that together, and I ended up really liking how that looked. So after that, I took some white paint and I blended the prosthetic into the color of my skin, since I colored my skin very pale, and then I took the rainbow and meshed that into the pot. There's a clip that I'm going to show you in a few seconds of what it's really like when I don't edit and cut everything out. This is the background.
No! You asshole! To help!
Shut up!
And then I just spitter spattered some thick blood on. I messed around with some stage blood, some really runny blood. And this was the finished look.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this look, please like and subscribe. If you have any other ideas of what I should do next week, any trendy things, any Netflix-inspired makeup look series, leave it in the comment section below. Comment sections, I read them all the time. I answer back to every single comment. So if you would like to chat with me, go down there. I thank you all so much for being here and staying till the end of the outro. You guys are amazing. For my next Netflix-inspired makeup look series, I'm thinking of doing that 70s show. If you have another show that you think could beat that to the test, or beat that to the next one, let me know. I love you guys, and I will check you in the next video. Bye!